cat in the wall, eh? Okay, now you're talking my language.
Do you have a drunk Bailey's from a shoe?
Oh, great. Thanks, Mother, for replacing the baby aspirin with LSD.
How much you want to make a bet I can throw a football over the mountain?
All right, welcome into the View from C-Deck. And after all of our preening and gloating from the Tennessee win, it's time for the View from C-Deck and the Haas and the Direwolf and just Matt here to look forward to the Oregon Ducks and the Buckeyes. Round 2, Electric Boogaloo. And this time it's neutral, baby, in the Rose Bowl. Last time it was a 32-31 game. Buckeyes struggle at the end of the year against Michigan. We all are ready to just kick the can down the road, say this season's done. And then we look like that against Tennessee. And even though Oregon's been the best team all year, in my opinion, and I think opinion of most everybody else, the Buckeyes are favored by a point going into Pasadena. Haas, Direwolf, what are you guys thinking coming into this game? What are the keys going to be? Can this team that just throttled Tennessee show up again with that same effort?
Yeah, this is going to be a game, I think, of adjustments on the fly. I mean, I think one team could have a pretty good sized lead at the half, and it's going to be whoever's kind of going to have to make these second half adjustments, because I think both teams are going to try to come out and throw some screwballs at the other team, because it's the second time playing each other. So usually you kind of have to throw the stuff out the playbook and kind of just see your players make plays. So it's going to, I mean, like I said, going into last game, pass first. We're going to have to pass to open up the run. Birch is going to be a different aspect of this game that we didn't see the first time. That's going to be interesting to see where they line him up, decide to see, kind of like Verse did, kind of take away one side of the rushing attack for us. I can see why we're a 1-point favorite, because this is just a coin toss game. I mean, these are two very good teams that are evenly matched, and I'm not going to be surprised if it goes either way. I'm expecting a close game either way.
I think the key is going to be Denzel, man. I mean, they ate him apart, ate him alive last game. Reason why we lost. So if he can key in and actually have a good game, and as we were saying before the podcast, I mean, the defense can't really play worse than it did the first time. And we got him at a neutral site, which it's the Rose Bowl, which I don't really know who gets the advantage there. I mean, to me, it's 50-50 pretty much. But just be aggressive. Be Evil Day. Be Georgia Day. Be freaking Tennessee Day, and not running up the middle. Don't do stupid bullshit. Get the ball to your best players. Get it to Jeremiah. They can't guard him. I don't care who it is. That's the key. Be aggressive. Do the same game plan. And hopefully, as he saw the result from the Tennessee game, it's clicking. Like, we go out firing all the bullets. I don't give a shit what happens. We're not going to lay an egg and just be vanilla. If we're going to lose, it's going to be because we were aggressive and they made plays and they picked us off or whatever.
Right. And you know Oregon's going to be aggressive, because they always are under Lanning. So it could be a game of just who wins these fourth down battles, who wins 2-point conversion battles. Like, just come down to that much. One aspect with this being the playoffs now and Oregon not playing in the first round is the rest versus rust. I mean, we still get 10 days off. We didn't have any major injuries, although Fryer did get banged up with an ankle injury in the first half. They retaped him. Seemed okay, though, which we definitely can't lose any offensive tackles anymore. Like, we are beyond thin there. But rest versus rust, is that, do you believe in that, Haas?
I mean, I don't think so, because their last game was a high-profile game against Penn State. It's not like they had some slum at the end of the year and they've been coasting, like, kind of like Notre Dame, but they had a long layover. This is they just played Penn State a few weeks ago, so I think they are, they were also banged up too, so they've benefited from the time off. Yeah. So I'm not really seeing much with the rust there, I don't think.
Yeah, I actually think I am kind of banking on that a little bit, being rusty, because if you look back, they had a bye. What was it? The game before the last week of the season?
Yeah.
So they played games in like 7 weeks when this game hits. So, and we're going to be, I mean, we're at our peak right now, right? Like, we just played the best game of our season. So I think that is a big factor, actually. Like, I mean, it's just us maybe, but when we have that big 4-week layoff, I don't feel great when we're coming out of the gate.
I do now with Day because he seems to be able to figure something out in those few weeks and put together a game plan. Can he do one on 10 days' notice? I think he can, but I don't think they can change up too much. But they threw so much at Tennessee that I don't know if Oregon can plan for everything offensively. There was so much movement and pulling and everything. It was great. So looking back at the first game, the yardage almost equal, like 467 to 496. Oregon wins that battle. Basically across the board, it's very even. 326 to 341 passing, 141 to 155 rushing. Where we lost the game beyond the fiasco with the clock management at the end was 2 turnovers, and we had 8 penalties for 70 yards to their 3 for 25. 2 turnovers to 0 turnovers, both fumbles by us. Quinshawn, I don't remember the second one. I remember Quinshawn getting it ripped out of his hands by Derek Harmon, though, when it looked like we were about to take control of the game. So very even. This is what gives me hope. I was like, that game was, you could almost say we outplayed them with those kind of stats, even though clearly their offense just kind of did what they wanted because of our inability to cover the deep ball. But those stats make me believe like we may have been the better team that night in Oregon, like you said. In Autzen at night. This is a neutral site. And it's going to be, I think, like you said, close to 50-50-ish with the fans. And during the day, fast track probably doesn't favor either team, but definitely better for us than playing in the cold and the rain. So do you think if we can just avoid the turnovers this game, that we can just win this by a score, but win this by a touchdown?
Yeah, I mean, if we don't turn it all, I think we got it. I mean, you're also forgetting the freaking onside kick bullshit, blasting it in.
That was the fumble. That's the other fumble, technically. That's what it is.
That was technically a turnover. I mean, that's happening again. Plus, at the end of the game, freaking Lanning puts 12 men on the field intentionally and gets a goddamn rule reversed. I mean, they did everything in that game. They pulled out all the stops. I mean, who knows what they're going to do this time, but that shit ain't happening again. So if we just play clean football, I think we're the better team. I still think we're more talented. They're very good, don't get me wrong. But like you said, I mean, it was a very even game, and we kind of screwed the pooch with the time clock management there. But, I mean, I still don't know if we make that kick is a thing with our field goal kicking situation. But all of those things went wrong, and so if we can play clean football and not turn it over, we got it.
Yeah, I mean, you got the offensive pass interference. We had 2 drops. Just players did not perform, just like the Michigan game in crucial situations. And in the Tennessee game, they did. The guys made catches. Defensive line stepped up and made sacks. Like, this is what good teams do, is they step up and they make the plays consistently. That's going to be who wins this game, is who doesn't make the stupid, untimely mental mistakes, penalty-wise, turnovers and stuff like that, and who plays the cleanest game. Schematically, what worked in the Tennessee game, what was like our bread and butter, was rolling Will Howard out to his right and getting the crossing route to the deep, or him just doing somebody doing motion or hitting Jeremiah on the quick little flat and having him go up the sideline. That's going to be a big flag, as if Oregon can kind of contain Howard to the pocket and keep him on the spot and get pressure up the middle with their D tackles and kind of contain Will Howard, because he's not a threat to run the ball, but he's a threat to make plays with his legs and extend the time so the receivers can get open. So that's going to be the key for Oregon, is going to be containing Will Howard, and hopefully, for our sake, they don't. And that's going to be to see how Ryan Day can kind of move Will Howard and get him on the run to get our receivers some more time.
Yeah. I mean, really, it's just beyond the turnovers and all that. It's going to come down to old school football. Who wins the line of scrimmage? Can our O-line hold up against – Tennessee has a very good O-line, or D-line, sorry. But Oregon's is much better because their D tackles are much better. And while they probably don't have a pass rusher as elite as Pierce, they do have Birch. They do have other guys that can get after – they have Uyangale. Like, they have guys that can get after the quarterback. They're the best D-line we played this year, I think, besides – best total D-line we played. Michigan has better D tackles, but best total D-line we played. But we were able to eat them up before. They didn't have Birch. So I have faith that we can do it. The other side of the ball, though, if we're going to slow down – that offense is nasty. If we're going to slow them down, JT and Sawyer have to win their one-on-one battles against a really good group of tackles there at Oregon. They just have to play out of their minds, just like they did against Tennessee, like they did They did play that way kind of against Missouri last year, I thought, but they don't have elite tackles like Oregon does.
What I am worried about is Gabriel is a hell of a lot more experienced. And what Tennessee's quarterback did was he scrambled really well. We did not. We had a couple busted contains, and he got out of the pocket. But what he did not do in the game, he did not keep his eyes downfield and look to throw. He was always looking to run. What Gabriel does is that when he does bust containment, he keeps his eyes downfield and can find guys. And that's what hurt us in the first game, is that when he made plays with his legs. So I'm looking for Sawyer and JTT need to get pressure. But they also need to be disciplined and stay home, because if he gets outside of the pocket and they blow by him, it does us no good, and he's on the move, and it's going to be a positive play for them. So I really do think that they need to more contain, and we need to get more pressure up the middle, just like they're going to try to do to us.
I do like that point. I'll let you talk a second, Dyer. I do like that point. We do need to get up the middle. He is a bad decision maker under pressure, though. He always has been, Gabriel. Getting him under pressure, though, like if he can escape the pocket, that's not really him being under pressure. But like he makes bad decisions under pressure. The one thing we did against Nico that we can't do again, we were spying him with JT a bunch, and he just outran him. Like he just was not athletic enough to keep up with him. That's why he was breaking contain. It was kind of by design, but he just couldn't make the plays. Go ahead, Dyer.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, that Oregon game was kind of the turning point for the defense, because we got 0 sacks, and after that we had a bye, and I remember Dave saying, like, we're going to talk about it, like we got to figure it out. We're going to blitz more. We got to get more sacks, and then it started happening. So that's going to be the key to me. Like they like to pass the ball, and we're going to be blitzing a lot more, but like you said, when we blitz, depending on how we blitz, he could run. He could get a big long run. I mean, that was he had like a 35-yard rushing touchdown, I think.
Yeah, that was on
and that was big. So it'll be interesting, because the game plan is going to be completely different on the defensive side than it was the first game.
Yes. It's almost like the same thing with Day. We say, let it fly. Let us win with letting them fly. Do it on defense, too. Force pressure to happen. Force them to make plays under pressure. Maybe he does. Maybe he beats your ass. Maybe his slant and they take it to the house on us because they got the speed to do it. But make him make those plays. Don't let him get comfortable back there, because he was just dropping dimes on us on the deep balls when he had time in the first game. We just can't let that happen again. Special teams, like you guys said earlier, maybe we don't make that kick in that game. I know we don't make that kick now. Fielding that attempt, I mean, it was a hard to kick a cold ball like that, 55 yards or whatever that kick was, but it was pathetic. And I think his confidence is just shot right now. Punt returning obviously had the muff by Caleb, and then they took him out off the punt return after that. Gotta at least not lose the game like we kind of did against Oregon with the onside kick thing too.
Do you guys think the rushing element, like the Baltimore Steelers aspect, is like whoever wins the rushing battle, like the Ohio State Michigan games, whoever wins the rushing battle wins the game? Do you guys think that could be a crucial element, is whoever has the 100-yard rusher wins this game to kind of keep the defense or kind of keep their offense on the field? Or do you think this is just going to be whoever has the ball last?
I think whoever has the ball last. I really do.
Yeah, I agree. I've never really been about the whoever wins the rushing battle wins the game, blah, 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 because, I mean, we could have easily beat scum, and we were not going to win that rushing battle. If we make a couple of field goals, I mean, I think that just comes in the end. I mean, it's been so many years. Eventually, it's going to even out, I think. But I think it's more along the lines of who has the ball at the end of the game.
Yeah,
I have to
who has the ball at the end of the game, unless, like, I can see if Will Howard does have the Will Howard moments, we could get behind big and the bad things can happen. But I don't expect that. He played really well against them the first time, just played really well against Tennessee. The team seems confident. So now if push comes to shove, we got to put our money down. The spread is actually all the way to 2.5 now in favor of the Buckeyes. Over under 53.5, which seems low considering all of us just said last team to have the ball. And the way Oregon's games have gone in big games this year, that seems like absurdly low, almost spooky, almost ballsy pick territory, Direwolf. What do you think? I'll let you guys go first. What do you think? Buckeyes minus 2.5, over under 53.5.
I was just going to say I would hammer the over without even knowing what it was. But that kind of scares me a little bit because I said to hammer the under in the Tennessee game, and that did not go well. But, oh, man, I do think we pull it out. We win by a field goal. I'd bet on us. I'm mainly because I'm a little surprised that we opened up as a favorite. So that tells me something. I mean, the money was on us all along in the Tennessee game, and it made me a little nervous anyway. But we're basically co-favorites right now with Texas to win the whole damn thing. They're like plus 310, I think, and we were plus 330, something like that. So we're basically the same. But I do think we're going to have the edge, and it's going to come down to the defense, actually, for the Buckeyes. But I'd still bet the over because that number seems too low to me. It is ballsy, though, I think. It's right on that level.
28-26 implied score, which isn't too far off the first matchup. But, I mean, Oregon just played a huge shootout with Penn State. This isn't like the Rose Bowl has a lot of big, high-scoring games.
Yep.
Yeah. This is, like I said with the first Oregon game, I'm like, it really doesn't fucking matter. Like, this is regular season. In grand scheme of things, it didn't matter. Just kind of nice, good matchup regular season. This is nerves. Like, you lose, you go home now. And so I think a lot of times what you see in these games is a slow start. I think, see if we pucker up, see if they pucker up. Dan Lanning sometimes has these boneheaded decisions, goes for 2, goes for it on 4th down. Who names it? I'm projecting probably the over. But I'm not going to be surprised if it's like just under that. I think it's going to be 29-26. That's my kind of early prediction for score. A little funky score just because Dan Lanning goes for 2 and who the hell knows. But that's kind of my prediction. We win by a field goal. Yeah.
Yeah. So you both think we win, and you have us winning in the over, Direwolf?
I didn't give a score. I'm going to say like something weird because of 2-point conversions and stuff, like you said, like 32-29.
Yeah, man, I don't want to be like a downer here. I have felt like Oregon's the best team really the last 2 years. I've felt this way. But Lanning makes weird choices, and sometimes that like does bite them in the ass, but they're getting 2.5. I almost want to take that just for how close this game could be. It could come down to a 2-point conversion, which means the half point is huge. So I'll take them, but I'll take the Buckeyes 28-27. Maybe, if that, like we said it in our last podcast, if we beat Tennessee, if we do come back and bounce back and look right, then it could just be what catalyzes us to a national championship, kind of like how we did against Wisconsin after JT went down in 2014. That suddenly you're like, wait a minute, we're good. We have confidence. We can do this. And we have the talent to do it. But it will be our O-line versus their D-line. Can they hold up? Can they keep us scoring into the 30s? But I think we're going to have to get close there. So, yeah, 28-27. That's barely the over. But I think we can get it done. And I think Ryan Day may actually get everybody be back on it? I mean, they probably are back on his side a little bit now. But if we beat Oregon, everybody get back behind him totally?
You have to. The idiots out there that say we win the national championship, there's an asterisk next to it, are fools.
They're
are
idiots.
Fools. The thing we have to win. You never put a national championship or you're fired expectation on a coach. Or no coach will ever want to come here again. Like, we lost to them. That freaking sucks. But we won the previous however many dozen in a row. Basically, he's back. We should be fully behind him because we see when we're fully behind him, great things happen at the shoe. And next year we're gonna have a hell of a home field advantage on some of those big games. So, yes, we should fully be behind him.
I mean, the question I would ask is, would you rather be in Scum's shoes right now, about to get fucking hosed by Alabama, 7-5, or be competing for a national title? Like, obviously, I never want to lose to them, but if I lose to them and win a national title every year, that's a freaking no-brainer. It's not even a discussion in my mind. So, yes, they have his number right now, but if we can beat everybody else, I don't give a goddamn.
Natty, rivalry game. We get that on the screen. Natty, rivalry game. That's where it goes. Yeah, we're totally behind him. And It should be a great game. Traditional Pac-12 versus Big Ten Rose Bowl there, even though it's Big Ten versus Big Ten. And also, Oregon got hosed by the playoff already. We're going to talk about that more in these next matchups. Yeah, go look at see who got hosed. The number 1 team and the number 2 team both have spreads of about 2. And the number 3 and number 4 team are double-digit underdogs. Yeah, something needs to change with that, and we're going to talk about it in our next podcast. Previewing the rest of the games. We'll also preview this one real fast in that podcast, though. But for the Direwolf and the Haas, I'm just Matt. Go Buckeyes. Beat the Ducks. We'll see you guys next time.
Hey, guys. Oh, big gulps, huh? All right. Well, see you later.